When Jesus says, "Woe to you, Chorazin, woe to you, Bethsaida," it's a clear indication of one whose heart is broken. Jesus' heart is broken. Here he is expressing deep sorrow because he's offered the people of these towns the most precious thing in the world, and they disregarded it. These people have seen all the mighty deeds that Jesus had done, but none of this has changed them. None moved their hearts to repentance. And right in front of them, in the person of Jesus, was the way, the truth, and the life. But the people were clueless or non-responsive. Now you might be thinking, well, at least the people of these towns did not attack Jesus. They didn't drive him from their gates. They didn't seek to crucify or murder him. So what's wrong? They didn't do anything. Well, therein lies the problem. And it's the most destructive sin that you probably never heard of. It's the sin of indifference. It's the sin of doing nothing. It's lack of concern or sympathy. It's neglect of the spiritual and corporal cares of our lives and the lives of others, especially of those in need. It's apathy. It's seeing an elderly person fall on the ground and just standing there and doing nothing to help that person up, or not even to call 911. It's coming to Mass and waiting for Mass to be over before it even starts. It's urging the priest to please, can we cut down the Mass to 20 minutes on Sundays and omit the music? For sure, it's because it cuts into their social time, whether it's brunch or breakfast at some coffee shop nearby or their golfing game. So often, we think of sin in terms of action, but we gotta remember, we sin just as much, or even more so, through our inaction and our absence of deeds. It is said that the opposite of love is not hate, but indifference or apathy. Unlike hate, apathy is completely void of all passion, of all energy, or all effort. An apathetic person, a person who is very indifferent, will not exert any effort to make a difference or fight evil. And this is exactly what the devil loves. The devil loves when we're asleep. He loves that the sin of indifference just flies under the radar. He knows that it is a quiet but powerful sin that is sure to keep us away from God. And sadly, it exists. It exists in our government. It exists in church, our church at large, where there can be a clear lack of compassion toward those who suffer injustice. I know one example that suddenly comes to mind. I know of a parish where the people are up in arms about the fact that an empty building, a building that's been empty for a while, on their site, is going to be converted to house the needy, particularly single mothers or refugees. Oh, they're angry about that. It's hard to fathom their anger over something that Jesus himself would do. When we stop caring about the common good and instead live only for our personal and immediate needs, when we're all about our personal agenda, well, that's a sign that is at work. We are created to care. I sure hope we still believe that. When people hurt, we should hurt. When our eyes see injustice, something in us ought to feel compassion and empathy and be moved to do something about it. We have the power to fight the sin and poison of indifference. It just takes falling in love with Jesus, his word, and desiring to serve him in every possible way. And also just falling in love with his church, caring deeply not only for the members of his body, For those outside the church. We're all brothers and sisters. So don't let indifference or apathy fool you. It does nothing but numb your heart and forces you to settle for less than you were created to be.
Thank you for participating in the digital liturgy today. The digital ministry touches the lives of many people, as does almost 80 other ministries here at OLPH. Grateful for the community that connects to OLPH through this digital forum. It's unbelievable how many people are able to access the liturgy and other events because of this ministry. Please consider supporting OLPH. All of your sacrifices help to sustain this parish and to keep moving us into the future. Thank you very much and keep watching.